Bonjour everyone, welcome to another diecast showcase. So today we're gonna do a special Free It Friday episode. I'm gonna go through the very few recent finds that I managed to acquire, but we're actually gonna be opening mostly some pieces that I've had previously shown in previous video. They're going to be some items from topcollectibles.ca. We're going to be opening half a dozen of those, and we're also going to be opening and customizing a recently acquired 5-pack from my local Toys R Us. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So I'm going to start off with the sole piece that we're not going to be cracking open today. So we're going to be talking about a premium or gold series, however you want to call it, and it's one that I had stumbled upon at my local Toys R Us, but then stumbled upon it for cheaper again at my local Walmart during a little grocery run. So decided to pick it up, pull the trigger, because this goes straight back to my youth and teen years. We are talking about the 77 pack and pacer from the entertainment series, the pop culture series, with the Beavis and Butthead livery. This little pacer with a big V8 mounted in the back, mismatched wheels, so kind of like a drag setup, and a whole lot of weathering with a nice set of details in the back, and a full metal front end, of course metal base, with real riders, so rubber tires. Very cool little piece of nostalgia, and yeah, basically pretty happy to pick this up. Obviously, out of this series, everybody wants them two GTRs, the R34 pace car and the R35 GT3. Well, no luck on that front, but very happy to pick this one up. It's kind of cool because it's got the little MTV logo on the back here, as you can see, next to the passenger side rear light. And this part of this same series, you got the dairy delivery in the MTV livery. So didn't pick that one up because I wasn't too excited about it, but this one is my only version of the pack and pacer that I have in the collection, and combination with this pop culture iconic livery, I thought it was a must have, so definitely picked that one up. We're gonna leave that one carded, and we're going to move on to stuff that we're going to be opening. So first item we're going to be opening, and this one I hesitated a couple times to pick it up, but decided to pull the trigger since there was a little sale going on, with Hot Wheels being 20% off if you buy Hot Wheels assortments for $10 or more. So this came up to cheaper than Walmart pricing, and we're going to be checking out this Flames 5-pack from Hot Wheels. So I've always been a big fan of the Flame series. If you're into hot rods and Americana and, you know, the whole hot rod movement, obviously this series has a little bit of something for everyone, and this one is no exception. Exception being for the two centerpieces that are fantasy cars. Mind you, there's some of the better looking fantasy cars. You've got the Mod Speeder and the Boulevard Bruiser. And yeah, just getting, as mentioned in a prior video, getting kind of disappointed with these 5-packs, because the iconic ones that I would always without a fail pick up are starting to be polluted with fantasy castings. I mean, 3 out of 5 ain't bad, but it's not the best deal. But we'll remedy to that right away, so bear with me while I get my box cutter, and we'll cut right into this 5-pack and check out the cars that I was really after in a little bit more detail. Alright, we got the box cutter ready to go. Hopefully the blade isn't too dulled. You know how it goes when you open up a whole bunch of packaging. The blade tends to need to be refurbished eventually. Haven't had to do that on this one yet, because it's one of the older metal box cutters, so definitely very sturdy. Little Mastercraft piece which you'll be familiar with if you're Canadian and you've ever been to any Canadian Tire locale. Alright, so here are the 5 cars out of the pack. So obviously we'll start with the 2 fantasy castings. So again, we've got the Boulevard Bruiser, which is very reminiscent of a early Mustang, early 70s Mustang fastback. It's a nice looking car, but it is a fantasy cast, so we'll find something to do with that. And then we've got the Muscle Speeder in this very loud pink. Again, this I know that there's the Project Speeder also that I do have. So this one I'm kind of interested in maybe keeping. Project Speedster basically is going to be missing the front fenders and the hood. So you're going to have the exposed engine, and normally it comes with a little bit of patina, some dents and scrapes, which is always cool. So this is like the finished version versus the project version. So kind of cool, but you know, not really my thing. The other 3 are the reasons why I want to pick this up, going from least interesting to me to most interesting to me. This is a superb variation, but very similar to the Moon Eyes matte finished version that came out about 2 years ago, the 56 Ford panel truck. I do like the double white walls, or the wide white walls, however you want to call it. Very beautiful paint, very beautiful paint. Nice dark crimson red. Got the chrome interior with the big blower engine, big V8, and the wide wheels in the back with the dual exhaust. You know, no details for the front and back, but you do get the Hot Wheels livery. So Hot Wheels Engine Builders, El Segundo, California, and the Ford logo, of course. Nice looking variation. I do like this one. It's not bad at all. Then everybody's favorite, and I've seen a couple of these 5-packs resealed with a different casting in them. The infamous 83 Silverado, good old square body. I don't know which variation this is in the collection, but this one's got a very nice color combo, I find, with the almost grayish green and the white flame graphics with the lime green surround. Cool flame job, I like it. You know, obviously got the chrome base, which lends itself to the whole front fascia with those stacked front lights. Green interior, which is, or is it a green interior? Could be a gray interior, but it's got the green tint on the windows, so it's hard to say. Tubbed rear with the air compressor for the air suspension, and yeah, shaved rear bumper with the dual exhaust. No rear light details, but it's a good looking truck. Nice square. And my personal favorite that I wanted to get out of this set would be this really cool, is it 63 or 64? 64 Impala. You know, really nice, slammed, cool burnt orange with the flames, the retro slot 5s, which are always a good choice of wheels for this type of car. It's got the lowrider stance with the hot rod look, perfect. Got the nice gray interior, and you've got clear windows, iconic front and rear fascias. Very nice. Very nice. This is only my second variation of this casting I managed to get, and it's definitely a nice one from Hot Wheels. One of those perfectly stanced builds, and basically what we're going to do, we're going to get the cars back into their kit, and I decided to make myself a custom little 5-pack, which I'm going to get done right now. I've already chosen a couple cars that are going in here, so you probably saw that Mopar and another Chevy. And now we're going to put it back in the box and see what the finished result looks like. Alright, this back into a semi-sealed state. And here's the final result, guys. So instead of the 2 fantasy casts, we've now got a Camaro, 67 Camaro, as well as a Charger, Dodge Charger. I believe it's a 71 or 72 Dodge Charger. So I think this looks way better. I'll let you guys decide what you think. These kind of match together. And of course, well, now that there's a Mopar in there, you've got representatives of the big three Chevys, which kind of, you know, is the grunt of the pack, but you got a Ford and you got a Mopar. So there you go, well represented. And these are all actual cars that are part of the Flame series. These two being standalones that are now part of this really cool 5-pack. And you've got kind of like the red and yellow that makes the orange, and kind of continuity, you know. The only cool color, cool spectrum color being the Silverado, but very happy about that. So there you go, a custom 5-pack. Now we're going to be getting into some semi-premium to premium diecast. Actually, well, you know, mix of mainline, semi, and premiums. But yeah, I really wanted to get this one opened up because, you know, the Matchbox moving parts and collector series are all open in the collection. So the Bizzarini 5300 GT Corsa Revival. So one of those Italian-bodied, American-powered cars from the 60s. Brands like the Tommaso did this a lot, as well as example lesser-known brands like Monteverdi, a Swiss brand, pretty much the only Swiss brand and exotic car brand for that matter. It did the same thing even in the British field with the Jensens. You know, you got some American powered, UK built. This one is Italian built, and it is a beautiful piece. We've got the opening hood with that 327 cubic inch Chevy engine, small block. I believe this is a Fuelie, if I'm not mistaken. No, actually, no, it is carbureted. You see the carburetors right there, so it's not a Fuelie. But yeah, great piece of kit. Classic looks, very Italian. Those beautiful tri-spoke wheels with the gold accents, and very well done rear. Number 3 meatball on the rear and sides. Not on the front, surprisingly, but yeah, all in all the details are not there, but definitely this is a good looking piece. I'm gonna follow it up with another Matchbox, the collector's edition Olds 442 that comes with a cool collector box. I'm gonna get that out of the package. So we've got the box. We're going to put it in the back right here. Actually, let's put a blueprint side. Really love that blueprint cutting graphic in there. And here's the piece. So, rubber tires, metal base, metal body. Nice amount of details. Definitely not period correct rims. Definitely not. But as mentioned in the video where I did that little unboxing of the package from Top Collectibles, they do kind of look like stylized Steelies, not quite, but you know, they're not completely out of place. This one does have very tight opening doors with a very bland interior. Literally looks like a mock-up just made for like a car show or something, like of a prototype, but I'm not going to complain too much. Nicely done rear with the license plate 44270, which would indicate the model year of the car. And I like the blue on blue with the white. Very cool. Definitely good looking car. Definitely a good looking car, and quite weighty, honestly. Definitely a difference in between this and the Bizzarini, which is plastic base. You can feel the weight difference right away. So let's hope that doesn't fall. I'm going to be checking out 2 other Matchboxes today. These are more vintage ones. So these are the Coca-Cola pieces from the late 90s, early 2000s, basically, that I showed off the other day. So we're going to get the first one open. Ford Falcon. Australian Ford Falcon. Box is a little bit better for wear, but I mean, you know, 2001 copyright. And so this thing was released 22 years ago. I mean, I'm not going to complain too much. I mean, this thing is still sealed, still in its original packaging, but not for long. We're going to keep the box, obviously, but we're going to get it out of there. And this is for the 50th year of Matchbox, 1962 to 2002. 52? 52, sorry. 1952 to 2002. So let's get her out of the box. Try and open this as cleanly as possible, although it's pretty much impossible to do so. Anybody who's tried to open and reseal a Power Grab will be able to tell you that. But yeah, it's time for this thing to breathe. So there we go. Box cutter to the rescue. I think this is pretty much as clean as it'll get. I'm really trying not to completely destroy this box. But yeah, it's gonna not necessarily be easy. Patience, guys, I'm almost there. There's a tiny little flap on top that is really, really very well closed. There we go. All right, let's get this bad boy out of this box. All right, 22 years later, it's finally free. This is a I like to call these the Malaise era Matchbox, when Tyco had given up and they had just been rebrought. So some cool castings like this one. I mean, it's not like you see a Ford Falcon of this generation quite often. Very cool that it has the side pipes. So this is probably a race version, the ATCC version. But yeah, very mid to late 90s styling. Big V8, you had the 302 in there. Coca-Cola livery with the older Matchbox logo. Big wing. Pretty heavy. And a red base because it's a Coca-Cola version. Red base, red interior. You don't see the interior a whole lot, but you do see some venting on that rear window. Probably Lexan. Yeah, just some cool Aussie muscle. Put this guy here, and we'll do the second one of these, which is the Opel Calibra DTM car. So another touring car, another race car. We'll try and get this one even cleaner out of the box, but again, once these are open, they're opened. There's no going back. So, and this one is from see, I believe it's a yeah, 1999, so 2000 release. So the licensing for this specific Coke liveried car is now 25 years old, 24 years old if we're talking about when it was released on the pegs. So some older stuff for you here, guys. I'm gonna get this thing open definitely very soon. Please be patient, because this glue is of not only industrial strength, but has also been on there for a quarter of a century. So it's very well set, to say the least. Wow, this thing is coming off piece by piece. All right, so we managed to keep the flaps fairly intact for potential reseal, but I don't think I will be, because it's not like these are going anywhere. All right, so here's your Opel Calibra, and we're gonna get this guy out of the clamshell. And these are fixed clamshells, not the opening ones like the modern premium diecast that you would see. This one's a little bit lighter. Here's your base. Definitely recognize the older bases. 1996 copyright, 1/60th scale. Also shows that it's an older casting because obviously, well, they didn't put the scale on there very long after this was boxed and put on the shelf. So there you go. You got the wide body, the extreme aero from the pinnacle of DTM racing, the mid to late 90s, at least in my opinion, where there were no rules yet. I consider this to be the 90s equivalent in motorsport of what the Group B rally was in the mid 80s. Literally no restrictions, no limits. Even got a little indentation in the side aero mirrors there. Red wing, red interior. Not surprising, it's a Coke car again. Single wiper right in the middle of that windscreen. Very, very cool piece. And again, these had a very high strung V6 that could rev all the way up to about 12,000 RPM. So over 500 horsepower. Next, we're going to be checking out a couple of Asian diecast. First one we're going to be checking is this really cool Toyota Celsior, and we're going to probably be comparing it to the Matchbox version, seeing which one's better. This one for about 12 bucks or the Matchbox for about 2 bucks. So 6 Matchbox for 1 Tomica Premium. Let's see if it's worth it. I'm going to take the cellophane off the box. And let's get the model out. I'll open it by here, it's going to be easier. There we go. As usual, the typical little Tomica bag. And we'll get the car out of there. Let's check this out. Here it is. So correct wheels, no mirrors, suspension, nice painted details. This is a one-tone paint, surprisingly, instead of the two-tone that you'd normally see with these first-gen Celsiors and LS400. But you got some nice bright work going around the windows. Got some lensed rears here. Exhaust is detailed out. Thank you, Tomica. Or Tomy, should I say. There you go. Open this up. Again, as usual, you're going to see a little bit of paint flashing on the interior parts. The Frisbee steering wheel, but the seats are nicely molded. So this is a basic interior with more details on the outside, correct wheels, and you got the nice plastic base. So 1/66th scale Toyota Celsior with a 2020 copyright. Very cool. And I'll ask you to wait with me while I get the Matchbox version so we can compare what $2 versus $12 actually looks like. Alright, here's your Matchbox. So let's say it's much more of a basic cast, which is not surprising for the price, but surprisingly, despite it being far from perfect and molded with the dash, the steering wheel actually looks better on this one. So LS400 versus Celsior, size wise, yeah, so this is definitely smaller. So this must be close to 1/64. Although I am suspecting it's probably a little bit bigger than 1/64, probably 1/62. But yeah, again, I mean, this is made to fit a packaging, as this is as well. And one thing I noticed right away, no sunroof on the Celsior, whereas it is definitely a standard feature on all LS400s since release in '89 for the '90 model year in the US. So I'm guessing this probably also has a fabric interior, which was more popular, unless you took the what was the trim level called? I think the Spec C or something like that. That was the top of the line that had the leather and the massage seats and all that good stuff, basically. But yeah, all in all, pretty cool comparison. I don't know. I obviously like Tomica one better, but Matchbox one ain't no slouch either. So, and you can see the Tomica is definitely smaller because look at all the other diecasts in the background. This thing looks dwarfed compared to the other pieces that we have here. And yeah, to finish everything off, we are going to open one last piece. Well, we switch these over actually, just so they are more, they look more size appropriate. And we're going to be opening up, last but not least, my first Era car that I featured in that same unboxing video of the DC2 Type R with the JDM front and a little wink to Spoon Sports. Let's go ahead and open up yet another 164 version of my favorite front-wheel drive car ever produced to date. Right on par with the VR6 Corrado. That's my taste. There's a bunch of other really cool front-wheel drive cars that were made, but those two are my top two. So let's see what we have here. I'm gonna open up the box first and foremost. This one has a plastic clamshell as opposed to the Tomica's little baggie. Here we go. Put the box aside here. There we go. Get the Tomica one there too, just for good measure. There we go. Alright, and now let's check this car a little bit more closely. Obviously this car's got a lot of cool features. Now, first and foremost, championship white with the red interior, right-hand drive. Does not have suspension, but does have some brake discs behind those dark charcoal colored wheels that do look like the USDM spec wheels, the 15s as opposed to the GDM 16s. But I could be wrong about that. Either way, that's an impression. First and foremost, opening hood with the B18 C5 under that hood. Got a nice carbon look to it. As you can see, nice weave pattern there. And it works well because when you switch the direction of the light, you do see the weave in the two different directions. Opening doors as well, with a very big but fairly accurate steering wheel. So I believe this was a Momo steering wheel from factory. And you got the red Recaros, which are probably one of the most expensive OEM Honda parts of models of yore that you can possibly try and acquire. So as opposed to the Spoon Sport car, it does not have a modified wing. It still has that original loop wing. You can even see the top gutters for the roof that are actually slightly detailed in. As mentioned in the previous video, you've got a blue plate on the front as well as a blue banner to kind of give a nod to Spoon Sports. Front and rear lens lights in the rear being painted detailed with those backup lamps, and you got the red Honda emblems on the actually on the rear, not on the front, but again, it's kind of normal. If you got an aftermarket carbon hood, you won't have that emblem anymore unless you reinstall one. And the wipers are actually painted onto the windscreen. all in all, great little model. Rear muffler seems pretty stock, and here's your base. So Aerocar, made in China. A Hong Kong design. And it's screwed as opposed to being riveted. No, not a huge amount of details, and it is a plastic base. Rubber tires, very narrow rubber tires, but at the end of the day, stock type R with USDM had 195 section tires, 205 for the GDM one. So I mean, they weren't wide from the factory. So I mean, 205 is the width of a base model Corolla tire for 2023, 2024. So that gives you an idea. And this was the pinnacle of the Integra range. So, but all in all, very happy to acquire this piece and be able to add it into the collection. So we're gonna set it down right here. There we go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little showcase and unboxing of, I believe, a pretty good variety of cars. If you did, obviously hit that thumbs up, comment your feedback, tell me which one is your favorite piece in the ones we checked out today, and of course like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Happy hunting, stay safe, and take care. Bye bye.